asshole for throwing away my boyfriend's potentially illegal yogurt collection? I'm a 29 female. My boyfriend is 30 male. We've been living together for 2 years in a little studio in a very expensive big US city. My boyfriend grew up rurally, with lots of space, enough to collect all kinds of things. He collected action figures and video games and all the normal kid stuff when he was young, but as he grew older, he became interested in the more unusual things. As a teen, he had 8 guinea pigs of different types from different breeders. Since Tide Pods were released 7 years ago, he saved one of every kind of Tide Pod. He's got a big box of an international variety of electric insulators, those little ceramic hats that power lines wrap around on power poles. He's not a hoarder. He's usually neat, just used to having a lot of space for his bizarro collections. At his parents' ranch, he has 2 big rooms full of containers of weird and impressive things. He recently became interested in yogurt. He's always hated dairy products, until about a year ago. He not just started drinking milk and sharing ice cream with me, but he's found a love for yogurts. So he now collects them, of course. The problem is that they're perishable. So until earlier today, our little 550 square foot studio contained about 2,100 cups of yogurt. It comes in tons of varieties. Different types, flavors, textures, containers, made by different companies in different countries. This is like crack to my boyfriend, so he tried to pretty much save a sample of everything he could find. He filled our fridge, bought a new fridge, and then another tiny bedside fridge. He said he didn't want to walk to the fridge at night, but it was obviously a ruse to get more yogurt space. These fridges all filled up with his yogurts, and if you keep them for long, they smell bad. Sometimes the packaging breaks, so our apartment was smelling like rotten milk for the last 2 weeks. And my boyfriend's attitude was, oh, it's fine, and just deal with it for a little bit longer. Until I pulled the plug and threw it all out this morning. I was looking at my groceries, which I had to put beside the fridge because there was no space, and everything smelled like death. And then I kind of snapped and threw it all away. My boyfriend is understandably upset. We've been arguing about whether I crossed a line by throwing away his stuff, and he's especially upset because he, of course, had rare yogurts that were hard to find. In particular, he had some Cuban and Iranian yogurts that you can't get in the US. But I know that we have trade sanctions against Iran and Cuba, so I don't know if this was even legal for him to have them. I asked where he got this Iranian yogurt, but he kept insisting, the Iranian yogurts is not the issue here. And the real issue was me throwing out his precious yogurts without his permission. Am I the asshole here? Do I need r/legal advice? Thanks in advance. I'm so exasperated.
I'm so confused. This is unhinged. I don't know.
Am I the asshole for the joke I made at a get-together in a response to a joke that was made about me? I swear to God, I've got to stop giving my weekends away to others and just relax at home, lol.
Are you me? Are you me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone in the story is late 20s to early 30s. My husband does community theater as a hobby. It's been about a year now, and he's been making new friends, which is great. Smiley face emoticon. Sometimes they get together for drinks, trivia, bowling, etc. Every once in a while, I come with, but I tend to have other things I prefer to spend my free time on. As a result, I'm considered something of a shiny Pokemon among this group of theater friends, and they joke when I come along that they're honored by my rare sighting. I love jokes, and I'm an extremely unserious person, so this is great to me, all in fun. I hadn't come along in about 2 months. About a month ago, husband made a new friend acquaintance with who we'll call Tess through a few others in the theater group. She runs in adjacent circles. From what little I heard about her before meeting her yesterday, husband and our mutual friend Nina described her as bubbly, quirky, a jokester. Cool, I'm 2 of those 3 things. Sounds good.
Okay.
I came up in conversation at the last outing 2 weeks ago. This was Tess's first time hearing of my existence since she and husband were newly acquainted. When Tess heard that he and I are high school sweethearts, she laughed and said, "Oh, so she's just your starter wife then." Husband wasn't a fan of that joke, but laughed it off, and then Nina moved the conversation along because she could tell he didn't love that. Reasonable.
Yeah.
They're not loving that. When he came home and told me that night, I thought it was pretty funny, kind of tactless, sure, but also funny. It's a cliche for a reason. I laughed and thought nothing more of it. Last night, the group met up, and I accepted the invite too. When we got to the bar and grill, Tess and several others were already there. The folks I'm friendly with came to say hi and started their usual bit about being graced with a rare cheetah appearance. We joked for a while, then Tess came up to introduce herself. I said it was nice to meet her. She made a comment about what a great guy my husband is. An opportunity for a joke came to me, and I seized it. I smiled at her and really casually nodded and said, yeah, he's pretty awesome. I'm enjoying him while I can before he dumps me for his permanent wife.
Okay, so that's the same joke.
Yeah.
Why, now she's mad at you for the same joke?
Most of the group laughed, including husband, but Tessa's face fell. She mumbled about needing the bathroom and speed walked away.
You're the one that said it, bro.
Talk shit. Yeah. She spent 10 minutes in the bathroom, sat quietly at the corner of the table for about another 15, and then ended up taking an Uber home. Our friend Nina texted after we'd all gone home, and apparently I really embarrassed the hell out of Tess since she didn't expect her joke to, quote, get back to me. Tess
What
now.
are you talking about, fam?
You're telling me people talk to each other when I'm not in the room?
What are
Crazy.
you talking about?
Tess, quote, is sensitive, was buzzed when she made the joke, and now feels self-conscious because I'm, quote, made her look like a bitch. Nina thinks that because I wasn't present when the first joke was made, I shouldn't have returned one of my own. 3 question marks. Am I the asshole?
No, honey.
I thought we were just all just joking around.
Well, now it's serious.
Now it's serious.
Now it's she wants your husband. Now that's what it means. Am I the asshole for leaving my boyfriend's birthday dinner after his mom took my seat, quote unquote, as a joke? I,
Awesome.
25 female, have been dating my boyfriend, Matt, 27 male, for almost 2 years. His family is very close, and his mom in particular has always been a little possessive. I tried not to make a big deal out of it, but it's clear she doesn't like that I, quote unquote, take up his time.
What?
And she's made passive aggressive comments like, quote unquote, I hope I don't lose my son to some girl. Even
To some fucking...
my son, not you.
Fucking, mama, boy, parents, Jesus Christ. Okay. Boy moms, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Boy moms, man. Fuck.
Even though we've been together for a while and I've made every effort to be kind and respectful to her. Anyway, last weekend was Matt's birthday. He invited me to dinner with his family at a nice restaurant. I dressed up, got him a gift I knew he'd love, and was honestly looking forward to the night. When we arrived, I noticed his mom had saved the seat right next to him for herself. That's fine, whatever. I sat on his other side. But right before we ordered, his mom made a joke about how I always need to be next to Matt and said, let's see how you handle a little separation. Then she literally stood up, looked at me, and said, scooch, sweetie, motioning for me to move down a seat so she could sit between us. I was so stunned, I just quietly got up and moved. For about 5 minutes, I sat there feeling small and humiliated while she leaned over Matt like he was her date.
Oh my God.
So I stood up, grabbed my bag, and said, actually, I think I'm going to head out. Hope you have a great birthday, Matt. And I left. Matt blew up my phone later saying I completely overreacted.
What?
Embarrassed him in front of his family and, quote unquote, can't take a joke. His mom texted me a sorry you were so sensitive message, which just made it worse. Now he's not speaking to me until I apologize. I honestly feel like they were the rude ones, but it was his birthday dinner. So now I'm second guessing everything. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for telling my friend I won't set him up with anyone because he's emotionally immature?
No.
Telling your friend that?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, you got to tell your friends
Yeah.
on themselves.
You gotta be real with them.
I would love to set you up, but I can't have my name
Be tarnished.
tarnished, like my recommendation. No, I can't. Sorry, bro.
So I, 30 female, have a friend, Ryan, 31 male, who's been in my social circle for a few years now. We met through work and became friends after bonding over shared interests, and he's generally a good guy, funny, kind, etc. He's been single for a while and recently started asking me to hook him up with one of my single friends. At first, I kind of brushed it off and said they weren't really his type or they weren't looking right now, but he kept pressing. Eventually, I told him I wasn't super comfortable playing matchmaker, especially when I see how he's handled relationships. For context, Ryan has a bit of a pattern. He jumps into things super fast, gets clingy really early on, like texting 24/7 and needing constant reassurance. And then when there's any sort of conflict or miscommunication, he either shuts down or spirals into guilt-tripping behavior. He's admitted that he has some abandonment issues, which he's working on, but from what I've seen, he really hasn't done much besides acknowledging them. I've had female friends tell me his past dates were emotionally exhausting, so I was honest with him and I said, look, I care about you, but I don't feel comfortable setting you up with someone I care about when I think you still have some emotional stuff to work through. Well, he got really offended, saying that I was judging him and basically called me fake for being his friend, but thinking so little of him. I told him that being honest was me being a friend, and that I'd rather be straight with him than set up a situation where someone ends up hurt or awkward. He hasn't responded to me since, and now I'm wondering if I was too harsh or out of line. I genuinely don't mean it in a mean way, but maybe I should have just lied or kept it vague. I don't know. Am I the